Hi, my name is Cristine Crum, and I am your host for ICAN. ICAN is a show dedicated to providing information to anyone who needs help. Help with what? Help with getting answers on where to go to get help with drug misuse, helping veterans find where they can go to get help, homelessness, and more. Once a month on this channel, we will take an hour to discover just what is really going on in our community. We will have interviews of people who can help and people who need help. We will discover all the stats, figures, and truth or fiction about drug, alcohol, and cigarettes. This is a program for not just adults, but kids too. We are all a part of this community, and we are all in this together. Welcome to ICAN, because I can make a difference, and so can you.
Open our hearts, free every soul. The fear inside, you must let it go. Oh, that monster, before it conquers you. Yeah, we all have demons, we fight every day. You get knocked down, but the bell hasn't rang, so keep going. Just stay focused when life seems hopeless. Before life passes you by, you must, like a bird with broken wings always. You've gotta reach for the stars. It might seem far. Ooh, don't stop. You gotta try. Oh, 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 you gotta try. Nothing can stop you from winning this race, so keep going. Just stay focused. Yeah, I am the tiger, I own the prize. Every storm is with the rainbow in the sky. You are golden. If no one else noticed, don't stop, keep going. Before life passes you by, you must, like a bird with broken wings always. You gotta reach for the stars. It might seem far. Ooh, don't stop. You gotta try. Oh, 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 you gotta try. You gotta try. All you got to do is try. Oh, you gotta 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 try. You gotta try. All you got to do is try. You gotta try.
I think the biggest piece of advice I have for someone going through addiction or thinking about going to rehab is being honest with yourself. Don't be afraid to get help. I think that's the biggest stigma that we're trying to erase is don't be afraid to ask for help.
Hello everyone. Today's show is about our veterans. In 2020, there was over 4,000 veterans in our area, and of those, 337 of them were homeless. And the leading causes of veteran homelessness are PTSD, social isolation, unemployment, and substance abuse. About 60,000 veterans throughout the country are sleeping on the street. 11% of them are homeless. 51% have disabilities, 50% have mental illness, and 70% have substance abuse. There are programs out there to help our veterans, which we will post at the end of our show. The beginning of our show will be about a unique program called Guitars for Vets, the healing power of music in the hands of heroes. Here are some videos and information about this program, and when we get back, we'll be talking with the man who started this program. The second half of our show, we will be talking to Jeremy Schmidt from the Community Action Coalition. He will be telling us all about the community supports that veterans may access in Jefferson County for rent and other support of his services. So join us then.
Gotcha. Okay, so from the B minor right there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Music is transformative. Without it, I wouldn't be where I am today.
I always wanted to play guitar, and it just gave me something to look forward to, something positive to focus on.
Music is something that does have healing power.
It can change lives.
Nice. Good, good. That's it. Good job.
I served in Iraq for 15 months. Coming to terms with everything that I've been through, it was just difficult.
I joined the Air Force in 2005 right after high school, and I did one tour to Iraq. When I came back, it was difficult to deal with the feelings of anxiety and depression.
It took a long time to accept leaving all your brothers that you just served with.
I served in Germany, Korea, Vietnam. I spent a lot of time in a bottle trying to forget things.
Not having a mission when the military in general just gives you a very clear focus on what to get through was a challenge.
I was later diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar. I had severe episodes that were pretty difficult to get through.
Done. My life was changed for Uncle Sam. This war goes on for who I am.
Guitars for Vets puts the healing power of music in the hands of heroes, bringing the joy of music to folks who are struggling with the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. I met my co-founder, Dan, in fall of 2006 when he came in for guitar lessons. And he said, I want you to know I really want to play guitar, but I struggle with PTSD. The most important thing of our lessons was Dan finding joy again in his life. And I said, Dan, let's make this a nonprofit, and let's call it what it is, Guitars for Vets.
Just having like-minded individuals just sit around and play music.
It makes you feel like you're not alone. There's other people that understand.
Every $200 we raise provides our veterans with a new guitar, all the accessories, 10 private lessons. After their 10th lesson, they graduate with a brand new acoustic guitar. Then they move on into group lessons indefinitely.
Learning guitar has certainly helped me cope with anxiety, depression.
One note played on a guitar can speak many words.
The healing power of music and the effects it's had on me has been instrumental to recovery. It's been just so powerful in getting me out and about again.
It gives you something to engage your mind in. It gives you a new outlook.
Greatest effect that music has on people is that it takes them somewhere else, removes them from a problem.
Guitars for Vets has grown to more than 100 chapters in more than 40 states.
Donations are really important to Guitars for Vets because it puts guitars in the hands of veterans.
Guitars for Vets, in order to operate, depends upon donations of money, guitars, and the kindness and warm hearts of others, so our lifeblood is donations.
Guitars for Vets is a very powerful program. It's life-changing.
Without music and the support of my family, I probably wouldn't be where I am today.
Guitars for Vets, I believe, is one of the best ways for those who suffer from PTSD to find serenity in their lives.
It's a great opportunity to make a difference, and I'm proud to be a part of it. It's a cool program.
Guitars for Vets is healing. It's purpose. It's a new mission.
Still playing the part of a soldier coming home.
That's great. The band's back together, man. I'm ready to rock.
Welcome back to our first half of our show, and we'd like to, God, I got a brain fart, start over.
Oh, that is lovely. You let that all out there. Just
All
Yeah.
right,
brain farts. I thought I was the only one that used that word.
Okay, the middle camera.
Middle camera, and when in
Okay.
doubt, just.
Hi everybody, welcome back. Today our guest is Patrick from Guitars for Veterans, and I will just go right ahead and start asking questions. Emmy, don't forget you get to ask questions.
Okay, yes.
2 questions. You're allowed to.
Patrick, who started Guitars for Veterans?
Guitars for Vets was actually started by 2 people, me being one of them. I'm the co-founder.
Okay.
I'm the civilian side of it. The other co-founder is a Marine.
Okay.
He served in 1st Marine Recon back in 1968 and 69, so of the Vietnam era. And he came in for guitar lessons. He had always wanted to play the instrument, but when you struggle with PTSD, which he shared with me, anxiety, depression, difficulty focusing, memory issues, those can get in the way. It's hard for anybody to come in and learn an instrument. There's usually a little anxiety around it. But the same spirit that got my co-founder, and he was going to be here today, but
Yeah.
unfortunately he has
COVID,
but he's doing okay.
Good.
His name is Dan Van Buskirk. It helped him so much with his symptoms, he suggested we go to the VA in Milwaukee to play for some of the men and women there
nice.
in spinal rehab. But on the way down, I stopped at a music store. It's still in the Milwaukee area called Cream City Music. And the owner at the time, a good friend of mine, Joe Gallenberger, gave me 2 guitars to give away because
Nice.
his dad served in the Korean War and he had recently passed. So we, again, going down with the intention to just perform, we gave these guitars away. Both these gentlemen lit up like a holiday, and it was very apparent that we had to teach them how to play the instrument. The nurses begged us to come back the next week because they saw laughter and they heard laughter. They saw the smiles on the faces, and we all know how therapeutic that can be. And back at my studio, Dan and I were talking about how are we going to do this, and I Google searched Guitars for Vets. This would have been in spring of 2007. Nothing came up.
Nice.
So there wasn't a lot of for vets kind
Right.
of nonprofits at the time. So, and I joked about this when I spoke at the Elks. I was already good at not making money. So I suggested to Dan we start a nonprofit, call it what it is, Guitars for Vets, and that's how it was born.
Okay, all right. So how does the program work?
Well, a vet is referred to Guitars for Vets by their healthcare, one of their health caregivers. It could be their doctor, could be their social worker, psychologist, physical therapist, whatever that is. They refer the vet to the program, and they can do that through the website, guitarsforvets.org, for the number 4 or FOR, and you'll see the information on how to get in. Then our chapter coordinator, who's a volunteer, we have over 500 volunteers throughout the United States doing this, will set up the veteran student with the instructor, and guitar lessons begin. The guitar that the vet uses is a guitar that we source from the community. I mean, there's probably folks out there watching now that have instruments, a guitar in particular, under the bed, in the closet, in the garage, down in the basement, or maybe your collection is so vast you don't have a place to walk in the home. We do guitar drives. And we accept donations of those instruments, which we then let the veterans practice with. And after completing 10 one-hour private one-on-one lessons, they graduate. And that's when we give them a brand new guitar. And for the past 7 years, we've been gifting Yamaha FG. They used to be 700 series, now they're the 800 series. Solid top acoustic guitars, beautiful instruments, and all the accessories, the bag for the instrument, the string, the straps, the picks, and so forth. Everything you need to enjoy the instrument. And this is where the magic really begins. They come back to group lessons that run indefinitely. That's where we build community, teamwork, camaraderie, and mission, higher purpose, and all those beautiful things.
So are these lessons, and I'm sure you might have mentioned, is it all free to a veteran?
It's completely free to vets. The vast majority of our company is volunteer. We operate on a very low overhead. I always joke that I get paid enough now to stay married. I have my own car. But it's the feeling of volunteering, of giving to something you really believe in is really a precious piece. So we depend on the community to donate to Guitars for Vets. And there's 4 things we need. And I use the acronym VIAM, which is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, it might be VM, but it's taken from the word viaduct, or viaduct comes from that, the main road, the main path. It's a Latin word. And so we need volunteers, we need instruments, we need awareness, which you guys are providing here today, and we need money. So you don't have to give money to take part, but if you're able to do that and you don't have the time or the guitars, that's our lifeblood.
But you can also volunteer as a volunteer.
You can volunteer as a volunteer to get more volunteers. That's how we got so many.
Wow. So just really wonderful that you're giving people, the gift of music, but then you're helping them go through, whatever it is that they're going through with music, sort of therapeutically, I suppose.
Yes, thanks, Emmy.
So are a lot of the people who participate in the program, the vets, do they have some musical background, or can you be a complete beginner?
Yes, we have a lot of and military folks will recognize this acronym, F and G's coming in. And, the first lesson might be, this is how you get the guitar out of the bag. This is how you hold it. This is how you hold a pick. Some folks do come in with some experience. I mean, you could come in as a superstar if you want, because the point of this is we will teach you how to play guitar, but it's really about the guitar being a catalyst for positive human interaction. And so we're not music therapists, but because of its therapeutic nature and it resonating in the center of your being while you're playing, and all the different senses and brain function you have to use to put the chord down and to pick and to feel it and hear it and get the response. It is really soothing and inspirational. And one thing I want to mention about inspiration, we're on the front line of mental illness with post-traumatic stress disorder, and now the government just calls it PTS, post-traumatic stress. Sometimes when that progresses real far, it becomes you're going into the arena where somebody is suicidal. And unfortunately, it's really, really difficult to stop somebody from taking their life when they are hell-bent on doing it. You can a few times, and you got to try. But the best way you can help somebody like that is to inspire them to keep on living. And that's why I think this program is powerful. We have folks say, hey, I've got nothing to live for, and I'm in so much emotional, spiritual, psychological pain, sometimes physical pain, but I'm coming back next week because I want to learn this song. And I want to play this song for my wife or my son or daughter or niece or grandkids. And now we're putting a little fuel, I like to say rocket fuel, on that spark that they have. And through that journey, then they will hopefully, as long as they're coming to the VA or a vet-related center, and we are at universities too, but they'll get maybe the medication that they need, if they need medication. They'll see their doctor, they'll see their therapist. Those folks do the real tough work. I see our piece of this puzzle in managing post-traumatic stress with the guitar as cultivating joy. So we are the happy part of that journey toward recovery.
Okay.
Really powerful. Yeah.
I'm just as excited now about it as I was 15 years ago.
Oh, so this started 15 years ago? You
2007 is
Okay.
I met Dan Van Buskirk in fall of 06. We started in 07. And so this June, it will be 15 years.
Okay. And how many people have you served in that time? I mean, have been, helped by this program?
I can tell you how many people have graduated. That means completing the 10 lessons, and we're looking at about 6,000.
Oh, wow.
We have over 100 chapters now throughout the United States. And if you do the math on that 6,000 graduated, then you're looking at 60,000 lessons given. And this stuff pays itself forward. If you're in the family unit and mom or dad are struggling from PTSD, it affects everybody.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And substance abuse can be part of that. All sorts of unwise distractions. We're about the wise distraction.
Yeah.
But once they find help and you open up a window of serenity for them, you're going to see the children get more educational opportunities. The animals get treated better. The marriage, if that's the case, or relationship is more intact, and the person makes the veteran or whoever it might be in general who finds some healing through music, makes wiser choices for themselves. And maybe rather than going out drinking, you're playing guitar. It's hard to do both at the same time. It can be done, but that's a different course.
Right, so it improves the other people's lives too around them.
Oh, the equation, the algebra of the equation, it balances itself out on both sides. As being a teacher, giving, again, brings a lot of joy. And knowing that you're making a difference and you don't have to be a skilled practitioner to do that.
Now, have any of the people that have went through your course, have they in turn turned around and became one of your volunteers?
Yeah, that happens very often. What you're going to find with vets, and again, I'm a civilian, but what I've learned about the fraternity of veterans or the sorority of veterans is many of them throughout their lives, though they've served this amount of time, the rest of that timeline, they still are serving. They're giving back to their brothers and sisters. They're leaving no man, no woman behind. So what better way to do that than get out and share that gift now that you have of music? Out of these group lessons often comes solo performers, duets, quintets, whatever amount you want to put together. And they get out and they perform. And if you want to talk about building one's self-esteem, as scary as that can be, is performing, just like public speaking is to somebody who would rather have a root canal than do public speaking. I hear some laughter from our studio audience. There might be a root canal on the way. He'll be up next. It feels so good. There is so much acceptance around it, because even if you're not a superstar technically on that instrument, and let's say you mess up, we all laugh together about it. There's this acceptance, the four pillars, as I like to call, of succeeding in Guitars for Vets, is being on the same page. Patience, acceptance, gratitude, and empathy. And you're going to find that people out in the audience are rooting for you when you're playing, and you suddenly are building this community around you. It's really magical.
Now, on your video that you sent us, I seen Willie Nelson on there.
Yes, yes.
Is he one of your volunteers or?
You know, I wish he was. I mean, he's been an ambassador for us in an unofficial capacity. I have not spoken with Willie. That's still on his bucket list, so you better look at that. Though we hope Willie will be with us, you know, at least till he gets to 100. He's worn our shirts and he's worn them in public.
Wow.
And he has done autographs for us in the past. So he is aware of Guitars for Vets. When you get to somebody of Willie's stardom, they have a lot of gatekeepers around him. Well, you know, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But I hope that that you're watching, Willie, and you'll reach out. Just call 855-G4V HERO. 855-G4V HERO. Because you know what? Operators are standing by.
How do you advertise this program besides just veterans, different programs? Is there ways because I've never heard of it until I walked into the Elks.
Yeah, that's a great question. We don't want to be a well-kept secret.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Elks are.
Yes, the Elks have been great champions of the cause, the VFW, the DAV, you know, veteran service organizations in general. Radio is really, I mean, this makes really compelling community interest stories. What you guys are doing on this cable network is so powerful because the people that are watching are people that really want to be here and take in the community that you two are building. So I would say the most important way to reach out people are doing just what we did at the Elks Club when I had an opportunity to come and speak to you and to do, you know, local cable access, which does have a huge following. You don't have, I mean, I don't know your station in particular, but in general, people follow community
because
cable
it's
access.
their news. It's not.
Yes. Power to the people.
Yes, yes. Anything else you would like to tell us about this?
I have another quick question.
I'm sorry.
This is number 2. I gave her 2.
So you said people can refer, you know, their clients or you know, patients or to your program, but you know, people who are watching this program today.
Yes.
They can go to your website or call a number.
Yes, that number I said before really exists. We really do have that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that clever.
Well,
just
And we will have it at the end of the show.
Oh yeah, we'll post it, but so they can just, you know.
Yeah, call the 855-G4V HERO or go to our website.
Okay.
Go to our website and just look up Guitars for
for
Vets, and
Okay.
you'll find us. And so that's a great question. That's the best way to get a hold. If folks in your area want to donate instruments, I don't know if I can speak for Elks Lodge 666.
They can drop it off there because they've already said that they wanted to be part of it.
Yes, yeah. They're actually the genesis of Elks lodges throughout the U.S. getting involved.
All right.
So.
Yeah. They can drop off the guitars at the Elks, and I'll make sure they get to you.
Right, and that's just right down the street from the police station.
Yeah.
How ironic. And the fire station too.
We won't burn down and we won't get broke into, hopefully.
Yes, good.
Nice. But was there anything else?
In summary, you know,
yeah.
Emmy and Chris, I want to thank you both for taking your time. So, you know, so I can yammer about this for a while. You know, as you can see, I love talking about it. It's very exciting to be part of. You know, with any other job, like with any other job, it has its challenges. You know, I do media and fundraising now, and as you can imagine, with COVID rampant, it's a little more difficult to do those two things.
The Elks have learned that the hard way.
Yeah. But we're fortunate where when money can't be given forward, we can take and frankly, we'll take drums and keyboards and trumpets. We can find ways if we can't place those in the hands of a veteran, we'll find a way to monetize that, and which will then buy more instruments.
Instruments.
And we are a nonprofit. We are a 501c3, so you're
So their donation would be tax deductible.
allegedly. Yeah, keep a record of that. No, it should
Okay.
be. Yeah, I haven't had any problems. We're good with the feds.
Okay. Because I know the Elks isn't a 501c, so our donations are not tax
Right, but
deductible.
you're like a socially responsible
Yeah.
for-profit
Yeah.
sort of thing. So I would still donate to the Elks.
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
much.
well, our ENF you can donate to, that is tax deductible, but the Elks Lodge itself is not. So.
Yes. It's a beautiful lodge. I mean, I'm assuming this will be, people will watch this in this
Yep.
area. They know where the lodge
Yeah.
is. And
Yep.
is it open to the public?
No, an Elks Lodge is not open to the public. You have to be a member or a guest of a member.
Okay.
What the scenario is with an Elks, you can go 3 times. First time as a friend, second time as a guest, third time as a member.
Got it.
Because it's a fraternal
That's a
organization.
fast track to membership. I love it. So if they want to drop off an instrument, will that be using their, do you have to have a friend to do that? Or do you knock on the door? Or is there a number?
They can call the Elks Lodge, and I'll have the number at the end. I don't know it offhand.
Okay.
Or I'll have my information there. They can call me or text me or
Cool.
so. But we'll get it figured out if they want to donate any instruments.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I just got to do a quick shout out to Nicole at the Hardee's. Okay, she treated me very well.
Really?
I hadn't been to a Hardee's for the longest time, and I said, "What do you got? This like a Whopper?" And I got the Star, and it was very good. So the service is great. Hardee's, right? I
Well,
don't know if you can
thank
do
you,
endorsements, but
Nicole.
I can, right?
Oh, yes.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Just gratitude, gratitude. And everybody out there, please realize you have the power to make a difference. And if you're hurting yourself, I mean, mental health is more important than anything.
Yeah.
Because I've known some people with some profound physical disabilities that have their heads straight and are happy, well-adjusted, wonderful contributors to society. It's all about the mind. And I truly have met depressed and anxious millionaires, and I'm still trying to get money out of them. But I'll cheer them up. No, but it's true. Mental health is everything, and you'll find one of the paths to working through it is volunteering, and it doesn't have to be Guitars for Vets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great organizations in
the
this
Elks,
town.
the Eagles, the Lions, Kiwanis. There's a lot of fraternal organizations.
Yeah, and they're a wonderful thing, because what you guys are doing is exactly what we're doing. We're building a community with shared interests, and there's power in numbers. There really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So we thank you for being here today.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, thanks so much. So Jeremy, you have to tell us your last name.
Jeremy Schmidt.
Jeremy Schmidt. Jeremy, so you're with the Community Action Coalition, and you're also a resident of Watertown.
Correct.
You said born and raised, so
Yeah.
that's, we can ask you all about that if
Sure.
you want. But today you're going to talk to us about services that are available for veterans and in our area, and just about, how to get around the barriers that veterans might have.
So I am the SSVF coordinator, Community Supports Coordinator for Community Action Coalition. So SSVF is support services for veterans and families. We have rental assistance that we can serve a veteran with. We have eviction prevention. We have emergency shelter, place them in a hotel, until they get housed. So it's a bridge to housing. Once they're enrolled in our program, either in the rapid rehousing program or the homeless prevention program, then they have support services with car repairs. We can do some storage or moving costs, moving into your apartment. And then, if they don't have any furniture, we can support them with a bed.
Okay, that's great.
Well, let's backtrack a little. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you do what you do for the veterans.
So I've been at Community Action Coalition since May of 2014. I'm a veteran myself. I've been in the SSVF coordinator position since October of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, so just over a year.
Reason COVID?
Yeah, well, they need. I was doing the transitional housing program. I was a caseworker for that position for 5 years, so I had the experience, and it was kind of like a step up. But I was the best fit, I believe, because I'm a veteran myself. So I understood the background of what veterans, are going through and their history of being in the military, was like. So, I mean, why I do it is. I don't want to leave anybody behind, veterans behind. Some are dealing with PTSD or, with maybe some injuries that they incurred while they were in the military. So I understand that.
Do you find in our area that the substance abuse is a big problem with the veterans?
There is some of that. I would say, 30% of the veterans I meet are dealing with AODA issues.
Do you know how many veterans are in our area that use your services?
In Jefferson County right now, probably on a month-to-month basis, we're dealing with 3 to 5 veterans a month in Jefferson County.
Oh, okay.
And we serve Dane, Jefferson, and Waukesha County. We have probably close to 40 veterans on our caseload, between the 3 counties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you told us about the programs that are available. Can you tell us a little bit more about each program?
Sure. So the homeless prevention program helps someone who's fallen behind in rent and has been given an eviction notice. So we help them with that past due rent, and then they're assigned a caseworker, and that caseworker goes through some supportive services with like maybe budget counseling, or maybe even looking for a new job. One of my success stories actually was a young veteran that lost his job due to COVID. So he was out of work for a couple months, fell behind in rent. I helped him with that past due rent and helped him with job resources and actually going over his resume, to say, hey, maybe you should change it this way or maybe add this in there, to help him get that job they wanted.
Oh,
So,
yeah. That real hands-on is so important.
Absolutely.
Now, is there a cost to the veteran for any of kind of this help?
There's no cost at all. We're giving grants to give back to the veterans, to serve them, their needs.
Can you tell me a little more of the success stories you've heard of veterans that you've helped?
Sure. Well, one of my very first veterans I helped was in the transitional housing program. Him and his significant other were homeless, in their vehicle. We found them housing. They were on the program for 2 years with the transitional housing program. But, help them find a job, help them increase their income, help them with budget counseling. They were actually my best rent payers throughout the program. Just help them increase their income so that once they came off that program, they were able to pay their own rent and utilities and, they were able to keep their permanent housing. They didn't go back homeless.
So the transition. Sorry to interrupt, but so the transitional housing program, are people in it for a maximum of 2 years?
It could be a maximum of 2 years, right?
Oh, okay.
They can come
Up
off
to 2.
early. it's a volunteer program. You know, yep, they can be on it as short as 3 months to as long as 2 years.
Okay. And do they get rent assistance during that time?
We actually sign the lease in that program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we actually
Okay.
sign the lease, so we're paying the rent, and then we figure out on a monthly basis what their income is, and they pay a portion of that. 30%. They're in a low-income housing unit.
Okay,
basically,
okay,
so,
I see. Okay, and then in the meantime, you said you help them like get their budget on track and
Yep.
just get them like the right income that they need.
Absolutely.
So that's really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not about budgeting. Sometimes it's getting them resources to, you know, make sure they're getting their license back. You know,
Yes.
you know,
Gotcha.
like you're talking about AODA. You know, getting that AODA assessment completed.
Yeah.
You know, and then going through that process, and then once they're maybe they have to go to another court date, and kind of reminding them to keep that on their calendar to attend. So.
Yeah, a lot of important, you know, case management.
Absolutely.
So.
As yourself a veteran, how has being a veteran, being in service, how has that affected your life?
Oh, it has created so many leadership skills. Yeah, I've been in for 23 years with a mixture of 10 years active and 13 reserve time. It's, you know, helped me see the whole world and see a multitude or diverse cultures. You know, when you're in the military, you know, everybody joins the military. They're non-discrimination. So, you know, meeting all those different backgrounds kind of helps me with the homeless veterans, because there's, you know, multiple backgrounds that are homeless. So, yeah, I think my military history has also helped me with the veterans, because me being in the supply, I could be in many different units. So I was in an engineer unit, I was in an infantry unit, I was in a training unit, transportation, signal, you know. So when I'm talking to a veteran and they say, "Oh, I was in infantry," I'm like, "Oh, I was in infantry too," you know.
Oh,
Or I
okay,
was,
yeah.
you know, I was an engineer. I was, "Oh yeah, I was in an engineer in Fort Carson," you know, kind of making that
right.
connection with them. You know,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
helps create that quick rapport.
Yeah,
you know,
I can see how
so.
that is.
Do you have any
also.
special programs that work with PTSD?
We usually send them to the VA hospital for that.
Okay.
I'm actually a health navigator, so I go to the VA hospital, so I got that background of, you know, who do I need to go to, or who do I need to call, and then I can give that information to that veteran to kind of navigate their way through the hospital. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to?
Community supports just in Jefferson County is very important.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody knows the resource guide. We have a where to find guide in our website under cacscw.org
Yeah.
for Jefferson County. There's hot meals being given out at every city, just about, you know.
Yeah,
There's a Emmanuel Lutheran Church on Thursdays, the Moravian Church here in Watertown on Mondays. There's a food pantry at the Emmanuel Lutheran and a personal essentials pantry. So, you know, if they're, you know, kind of making ends meet, they can go there to, you know, get those needs met. You know, if they're, you know, needing other rent assistance because they're not eligible for our program, they can go to St. Vincent de Paul, or maybe call the Salvation Army, you know, for a month's rent assistance. You know,
Why wouldn't they be?
some veterans aren't, not every veteran per se is eligible because of their eligibility on their record, their military record. Or if they're over income, you know, they have to be 50% county median income or below.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So I connect them with those other resources. You know, they're probably, you know, middle class, just making ends meet. They can make their ends meet by going to those hot meals or food pantries, or, you know, getting that rent assistance from other
there's
places.
a Geno's on Thursday also.
Right. Gino Schmidt. Correct.
Let's see.
Yeah. Yep. Fort Atkinson actually has a Fort Atkinson Homeless Coalition.
Okay.
Yeah, they can help assist with, you know, some emergency shelter, you know, if you're a resident of Fort Atkinson and you become homeless. So, yeah. Yep.
So it sounds like in our area we have a good round percentage of help for the veterans.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
good.
Yep. Yep. American Legion, actually, it can be a member of American Legion too. And, you know, they have 2 hot meals on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, for lunch. So, you know, they can go there with open arms and, you know,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So,
they can, you know, get a meal there and get other resources, you know, that they might ask for.
What if you know of a veteran that needs help but doesn't want you to help them?
Well, you know, I tell them to say my number, you know, when their time is ready. You know, we always want to meet them where they're at. You know, we don't want to ever force anything on a
Right,
veteran that's
right.
not ready.
Right.
You know, but always reminding them, you know, doing that follow-up call, you know, a month later or 3 months later. You know, we have some follow-ups that we do sometimes. So, you know, just saying, hey, how are you doing? You know, and just, you know, if you meet them out in the public too, you know, saying hi to them.
Now, you had some information on therapy animals. Can you share that with us?
Sure, yeah. So, you know, when you have a therapy animal, that's prescribed by your medical provider, right? So you're getting that letter, you know, signed by the medical provider stating that you need a service animal or therapy animal. So when you're looking for housing, you're filling out the application, right? And it states on there, do you have any pets? Well, a service animal is not a pet. So you state that you don't have a pet, you know, because service animal is prescribed to you. So once you get approved for the housing, your requirement is to give that letter to the landlord, you know, once you've gotten the keys and moved in. You know, after you've moved in, they usually give you a check-in sheet, right? You check all the damages or, you know, anything that may need to be fixed. Once you're done completing that in 3 days, you put that copy of that medical letter for your service animal in there. They can't charge you for a pet fee, according to Wisconsin Statute 704.
Okay.
And with a therapy animal, it doesn't matter. You can have your pet with you anywhere,
Correct.
in any apartment.
Yep, in any kind of apartment, any housing.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. The reason I brought this up is it's kind of a segue to our next show, which will be on therapy animals. So
Sure.
I wanted to get the information about the state level and how.
Yeah, it's in the Tenant Resources Center. You know, they have some good information in their website too about that.
Okay.
That's where I find it.
Good. So I know that the county has a veterans office as well.
Yes, there's a Veteran Service Office in Jefferson County, upstairs in the county clerk, above the county clerk's office. And Yvonne Dusserhoff, she's a VSO actually.
Yeah.
And,
I tried to
Jean.
get a hold of her, but she didn't get back to me in time.
No, she's great though.
Yeah.
So they assist with, you know, sometimes they'll assist with a gas card if they have them. But their main focus is helping you do a claim, a service-connected claim for your military injury or illness that you may have incurred during your time in the military. And they'll submit that and, you know, see if you're eligible for some disability.
Yeah. And I know our local Wisconsin Elk, or our Watertown Elks Lodge donates gas cards to the Veterans
Oh, there you go.
Department
I appreciate it.
I think we just donated $1,500 worth of gas cards recently, so.
So
But
these are
anything-
so sorry, just to clarify. So these are for injuries or something that happens after your service is done? but
Well,
you're not.
It was during your military time.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's say, you know, for instance, you're at war and, you know, you get an injury because of a tank accident. You know, you know, get a torn rotator cuff or something.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you get the medical help at that time.
Right.
And once you're released, you know, you can submit a service-connected claim for your shoulder injury.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, and they'll determine what your percentage is.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Yep. I myself am 70% through injuries in the military.
Yeah, yeah. Because I imagine like certain injuries, they just go on. They're just chronic.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
they
just
go on
chronic, and
forever.
I got chronic lower back pain and you know other issues. So
Yeah, yeah. So well, that's good. So that's
Any other questions for Jeremy?
Well, I'm so glad you covered, you know, some of what's available in Watertown and in the surrounding areas too.
Yeah, and all this information will be, of course, at the end of the show, like we normally have.
Right.
And you can contact Jeremy or any of the local
Yeah.
agencies
Yep.
for help.
So yeah, there's a Jefferson County phone number for the
Yes.
community
So
action
we have
coalition.
our 920-262-9667 intake line. You're going to start there first. That's for anybody that's dealing with homelessness or dealing with eviction prevention.
Yeah.
My number actually is 920-988-9606. If you claim you're a veteran, we'll do that eligibility intake, and then we'll get you enrolled into our program.
Okay, that
yeah.
sounds really good. Oh, there was one other question I was going to ask too.
Mm-hmm.
For families of veterans, I'm just wondering. I know it's the services are for the veteran.
It's veteran and families. So
okay.
it's the veteran in the family. They're all eligible
And
for the
what if
services.
that veteran is
Okay.
deceased?
So yeah, they wouldn't be eligible then.
Okay.
Nope. The veteran has to be,
There's no survivor
alive.
benefits.
Yeah, no survivor benefits.
Okay.
Now there might be some, if they were disabled, they'd have to go through the VSO.
Yeah.
If they pass away from their injuries or illness that they were having a claim on, they could get that. I'm trying to think what it's called. It's like the disability connected for the survivor.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Survivor benefit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, well,
So,
that's a
yeah.
good question to know, because
Sure.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought if you were a veteran in your family, and then the veteran dies, I thought somehow they would be able to get help also.
No,
That's,
I'm sorry.
I understand
Yeah.
it, but it's a shame.
Yeah, we do get a couple calls like that
Yeah.
every now and then. So, but I do give them all the resources I can, veteran or non-veteran.
Right.
I mean, we used to do walk-ins right here in Watertown at our old office, and I can sit down, go through the Where to Find guide, give them all the resources they need, so to get a step ahead.
All right. Anything else?
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate
thank
it.
you,
Thank you for
Jeremy.
being
Yeah,
here.
thanks for
And we
being
will
here.
have all your information at the end of the
Okay.
show, and
Sure.
All the phone
we will let
numbers.
you know when it airs.
Yeah.
Anything else, Emmy?
No, but yeah, it was interesting to hear about the service animals.
Yep.
And,
as I said, our next show will be about therapy animals. Hopefully, we can get all the information pulled together for the February show. Otherwise, thank you and see you next time.
Open our hearts, free every soul. The fear inside, you must let it go. Oh, that monster, before it conquers you. Yeah, we all have demons we fight every day. You get knocked down, but the bell hasn't rang, so keep going. Just stay focused when life seems hopeless. Before life passes you by, you must, like a bird with broken wings always. You've got to reach for the stars. It might seem far. Ooh, don't stop. You gotta try. Oh, 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 you gotta try. Never stop dreaming, even awake. Nothing can stop you from winning this race, so keep going. Just stay focused. Yeah, I am the tiger, I own the prize. Every storm is with the rainbow in the sky. You are golden. If no one else noticed, don't stop, keep going. Before life passes you by, you must, like a bird with broken
I think the biggest piece of advice I have for someone going through addiction or thinking about going to rehab is being honest with yourself. Don't be afraid to get help. I think that's the biggest stigma that we're trying to erase is don't be afraid to ask for help.